Welcome everyone to this week's Life Conversations with a Twist. I was just saying this is like bittersweet moment for me because this is my last recorded episode as Life Conversations with a Twist. As many of you guys know, I'm doing a whole rebrand, but this will be my last interview as this brand, and I'm very honored to have Annie here from Dolce Vita Salon. If anyone's on social, you guys saw me talking about this amazing experience, and I cannot wait to dive into what I did yesterday and then hearing your journey as an individual. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm super excited. So, a little background: Dolce Vita Salon. How long have you guys been around? You're in Santa Rosa. How long has
23 years, I want to say now. We've been at this location for just over 10 years, if I'm not mistaken now. Yes. So, been around for a long time. Kimberly has created a really astounding, not just a salon, but a place for growth and really more of an educational salon, which is incredible.
So I met Kimberly at a vision board event. So many people know that I do vision boards once a year, and she was brought by one of her friends, and then we instantly connected. And then the following year, she brought your whole team to one of my vision boards, which was super fun to see. I just love that she brought the team there to like give you guys a space to dream bigger. And I think a lot of people as an owner or people who have employees, it's like they want them to stay forever. But what I love about her approach is she really wants to embody like where you guys want to take your life. And that is really cool and special. And so that's how I met Kimberly. And yesterday I finally got to experience the salon at hand, so it's been a cool experience. But I want to hear more about, we have lots to talk about, but I want to hear about your journey specifically on how you even got to what you're doing today.
Yeah. So, and I'll try to keep this as brief as possible because I really have to go through my whole life story here. We start at age of 4. But no, so starting at the age of 4, and granted, this is a lot of recollection from my mom. Hair was the first thing I just loved and attached myself to. I was that kid always on YouTube watching hair videos and doing them on myself, getting my sisters, getting my friends, whoever would let me touch their hair. I was always doing hair. And so in high school, I worked at a salon, tried it out. My family runs an incredible nonprofit in Sebastopol called Green Acre Homes. So I started also working there at 16 and felt a lot more driven to kind of pursue that career just based off my single experience in the salon versus kind of the way I was raised in that sense of service. I've always felt my greater purpose has been in direct service to people. I believe that I have been given what I have to give to those who have less. I feel like it's a responsibility that I carry. And so in whatever capacity I'm able to do that, that keeps my cup still full was ultimately my goal. And so I definitely kind of made my way around. I got my degree in psychology, my minor in Spanish, traveled between a whole bunch of different states and places. And starting at the age of 12, I've had 3 herniated discs in my back. I had an epidural at 13, and that really controlled a lot of my life. It would be 2021, so 2020, the year COVID started. I had moved back home after college, was working for my family full time. COVID hit. Our group home and school shut down for COVID terms. And so I was out of work, and then I was hired on actually as the case manager up in Nevada for senior services. I worked there for 3 years, gained so much wisdom, had so many great experiences, learned a lot about life up there. And unfortunately, my last year there, not only did we lose 21 of our seniors through all of COVID, I also lost my dad. And I was honestly in kind of an unhealthy work environment. And all those things really started to affect me. And I assumed that my body was having a physical stress response, and I was waking up pretty much immobile. I was going through 3 months of immobility with my back, and then 1 month off, and then 3 months again. After about my 3rd round of that, I was 24. It was like, I can't keep living like this. This is not a life for a 24-year-old already. I feel like I'm 80.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I really have to give it credit to manifestation. And I didn't even realize I was doing it at the time, but I would wake up every single morning I was living in the snow. I had snow at my house from October to May. I was at the same elevation as Tahoe on top of a mountain. And I'd wake up, it'd still be all dark outside, snow everywhere. And I'd turn on my TV and I'd sit right in front of it and I'd watch this 4K video of Hawaii. Hawaii has always been my safe space. I have family there. I've been very blessed to say I've been able to go there a lot. And I would just watch it and I would imagine I was there. My sister happened to be graduating from the University of Manoa that actually on my birthday that year. And I went and visited her in January. In March, I was looking at my life and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I decided to move and I moved on my birthday, May 13th, and kind of had what I'm going to call like my restart. I was looking more as a career change. I associated more of my physical ailments to stress versus the weather, which honestly turns out to be more of that. So I worked at a timeshare at a hotel. I worked at a teppanyaki Japanese restaurant. And then I actually started working back at a salon. I started going through to entrepreneur meetings. And as it was, I was the only entrepreneur, or I shouldn't even say I was an entrepreneur, but only person who did not already have a successful business. So I was constantly on the hot seat. I had some pretty far out there ideas of what I wanted to do. And through a very wise friend, he kind of brought it back down for me. He was like, girl, you are all over the place. You have no idea what's going on. You're just kind of sporadic. So he asked me a very simple question. He was like, what's one thing you're better at than other people? Like, what's one God-given gift, one talent that you were just innately born with that you are well at? And I couldn't answer him. I knew my answer right away, immediately. I've always known that answer, but I couldn't admit it to myself because I've never really given it the credit that it deserves. Mm-hmm. After 5 minutes, I was finally like, okay, I'm really good at hair. For whatever reason, I've always been good at hair. That's just my gift. He's like, why don't you do that? Why don't you take that seriously? And I gave him about 1,001 reasons why not. And then I sat with it for a little while and I really started thinking about it. And it's like, okay, what if I just try this? And so I started going down my route of trying to attain my license in Hawaii. I didn't like the way that they did it, and I didn't feel like it was transferable if I wanted to move out of state. So at the advisement of my mom, she was like, why don't you start looking at schools back at home? So I actually applied for Dolce Vita. I looked at best salons in Sonoma County because I was like, if I'm going to get trained, I want to be trained by the absolute best people. Like if I'm going to do hair, I want to do it right. So I was so lucky. They reached back out to me the next day after I applied, and I did a Zoom meeting first with the salon manager from the hotel of the parking lot in Hawaii that I was working at. And then I did a second Zoom with Kimberly the following day, came in for a work meeting or a work interview the next month. And then I moved back the month after that. And I've been here now for about 2.5 years. And what I've learned is that I'm able to serve my purpose even better of feeling I'm serving people at such a greater capacity in this job than I have been able to in any other job. Learning myself first, learning how I work, how my energy works, learning my boundaries that I need to keep, and then finding a career that is able to respect those, but then also bring out all of my talents. Like, it's amazing to me how many things I can incorporate, like I've been able to incorporate that I love into this job. And then I get one-on-one individual attention with a person that I can really focus on and give the sense of healing. Hair is such, and your scalp is such a healing service, and you don't realize it until someone's hands are on your head. And I love this career. Even on long days, I go home happy. I'll be the last one here, work 9 hours, and seriously, I'll dance by myself in the salon because I know this is where I'm meant to be. Mm-hmm. It's a career that leaves me with a constantly filled cup while I'm still able to fill others. And then I have found so many incredible ways in Sonoma County to still volunteer and give back and still feel like I'm giving more in that sense as well. So it's been a long but incredible journey, and I'm just so happy that I've come to this place. And I think people don't give enough credit to experience. You have to go out and try things and meet new people and do different things. I learned so much more from learning what I don't like versus doing things that I did like. Yes.
How old are you now?
I'll be 29 in May.
Like, the fact that you have at such a young age were able to determine that and find that. I mean, I'm 43 and still trying to search for it, and like everyone always says you kind of go through your life in like kind of decades. And by the time you're like 40 or 50 is when you kind of have this like aha moment of like, I am not happy and I'm not doing the thing that I'm supposed to be because we went to school for the things that we did, or we get stuck in a job we're miserable at. But I admire you so much by like leaning into what you feel inspires you and makes you feel good about the work that you're doing at 29 years old.
Thank you. I appreciate that
I
a
mean,
lot.
that's so cool.
Thank you.
And your energy, I loved your story instantly, but I can feel after getting a service from you, like how much you enjoy it and how much you are so present with the person you're with, and you kind of like take on their energy. We talked about energy.
Yes.
And it was just such a beautiful experience. And so I definitely think that like you have found your spot.
Thank you. Thank you.
And remind me, you said you have like a new position or a new kind of part of the salon, not only in the scalp world, but
Yeah,
the community part of it.
absolutely. Yeah. So, because I felt so strongly, I've always have about the sense of service. I was going out and volunteering pretty much anywhere I could. So Kimberly was like, "Why don't we make this a position?" And I would love to have the salon really support, and we can get more stylists out there, more people. So I've been head of community events, and not only is that connecting with different organizations and nonprofits that allow us to do, say, like free haircut services, but we're also really wanting to connect with more local businesses. We've actually had a few different local companies. We did permanent jewelry here. We had a lady who makes candles, and they come in, they set up their little stand at the shop, and then we help advertise them as well, and they sell products this year as well. So we just really want to, I think we just understand the importance coming from a smaller town. Just we really need to be there to support each other, and yeah, the more local I think the better.
Absolutely. I know I'm already like thinking of different ways that you guys as a business can be more involved. So yeah. So okay, we are going to talk about head health, scalp health, hair health, all of the things, which is something that none of us as women think about. I think we're always constantly like our internal, like what are we eating, what are we consuming, but like there is so much wealth and things that can happen just by like taking care of your head and your scalp. So I want to like I'm going to have so many questions even though I know the answers, but I think I asked you like 5,000 questions yesterday. So talk a little bit about what the scalp spa treatment looks like, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So our head spa service is based off of the Japanese head spa. Essentially, the whole purpose of this service is to reset your microbiome. We're trying to create the best possible environment for your hair to thrive regardless of the circumstances that you're going through. And we want to take all those things into account though as well. So we used heat therapy, we use steam therapy, we do light therapy, temperature therapy, hot and cold. We do high frequency tools. We do all sorts of things, essentially at about an hour and a half to 2 hour service, depending on what you're getting, where we're really taking the time to one, learn your scalp. We start our treatment with a magnifier that allows us to look at your scalp at 200 times. It's a little bit off-putting if you've never seen your scalp at that
It is so gross.
extent
It
before.
is the first time because I've done this before. This was a couple years ago, but doing it again, like to see your scalp, and if anyone follows me on social, you can see my before and after. It is so gross.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, you should take a look at your skin after that
I
one's
don't even want to know.
right. No. So we are able to really look at it, and through more search through trichology, we've really been able to learn like what it means when we see blood versus inflammation, and what clogged pores look like, and all these things that your scalp is visually telling us, but also too you feel. We're so common to ignore the signs from our body. We give so much credit for this brilliant mind, but we kind of forget how smart and perfect our body is also. So, at the sensitivity level of our scalp, because again, our scalp, hair, all this is meant to protect our most vital organ, which is our brain. Is you the reason you get itchy, you can feel when you get oily, is because it's that sensitive, it's that particular to protect it. So, we need to learn to not ignore those signs. So much different information. Just for example, say on like how often to shampoo your hair, right? When you're feeling itchy, if you're feeling oily, there's a reason why it's probably a good time to wash your hair. Yeah, so just like learning the body. But anyways, yes, so we start your service though in the chair. We do brush exfoliation. We'll look at it with the capilloscope. We start applying different oils and different products to help loosen up all the debris and really help us detox everything that's out. And then we get you on this beautiful massage bed back here for the majority of the service. And you'll get upper body massage, obviously a lot of massage on your scalp. Reinfusing of really, really good products that are going to not only reset your microbiome, but really encourage hair growth and prevent hair loss. Yeah, so that's a little bit. And then at the end too, which is nice, we do look at it again, just so for your satisfaction, we actually did something in that hour and a half service.
I learned so much. One of the things was for anyone who washes their hair and puts conditioner in their hair, that you're not supposed to put conditioner on your scalp, that you're supposed to
Yeah.
put it on just like your hair. I was like, oh, oops.
I'll be honest. This was something for me, being a curly haired girl, textured hair, you're naturally going to have a lot more dry hair and scalp. So for me, and it's a hard line because I'll be honest, for a long time, I put conditioner all the way into my scalp because you do at least want to get it close to the root. But what we're finding is that after you've cleansed, your pores are so open, conditioner that's not actually meant for your scalp is just going to do exactly what we reverse. It's going to now disrupt your microbiome again. You have things on there that it doesn't really want and need, and it's going to clog everything. We've been able to see images with our magnifier that shows this just like film almost, and it turns out it's conditioner. So just as important as your moisturizer, just as important as your maybe even more important, because your scalp, one, is more sensitive than the skin on your face. It ages 6 to 10 times faster than the skin on your face. We care so much, right, about sunscreen and being preventative with all that, but what about up here? And so it's using a scalp serum. That is if I could recommend any product to anybody, it is to get a really good scalp serum. It is important as putting your moisturizer after you cleanse on your face. That scalp serum is full of good things that your scalp actually needs. That's going to allow it to be fed. Why would we clean everything out and get it into this beautiful state to, one, either ignore it and then allow bad stuff to potentially get in there, or we can feed it and get all the good stuff in there. We're spending so much money on our hair, so much time on all this part, but we like to use the analogy of a garden. If your roots aren't healthy, if your soil is not healthy, you're never going to be able to produce beautiful flowers. You might get some growth and there'll be some things there, but they're not going to be anywhere near what they could be.
One of the questions I had asked you, because I hear it so much, is women who are, after they have a child, they lose their hair or their hair thins. Talk about why that is and how a treatment like this can help with the growth process to come back.
Absolutely. So even just broader than, as women especially, we're all very much controlled by our hormones. As our hormones change, our hair will also change. Our hair is our fastest regenerating cell in our body, which is why when people go through chemo, it's the first thing you lose. Let's see here. So with the hormones, for a couple reasons, is the hormone that creates premature hair loss is called DHT. Stress will increase the production of DHT. Different changes in your hormones will affect that as well. You hear about male pattern baldness, female pattern baldness, and it has to do with where the concentration of DHT is going. It's going to be on our hairlines and on our part line. So there's so many different things that are going to affect it, and environmentally as well, that are really going to increase the chances of premature hair loss. So as you're going through, say, pregnancy or postpartum, or say you were on a different medication, anesthesia, a lot of people don't know. If you've been on anesthesia, a lot of people will go through a hair loss period a couple months afterwards. We see that pretty frequently. Diet changes, there's all sorts of reasons why. And essentially this treatment, our scalp treatment, is one, we're going to first reset everything for you. We're going to get your scalp back to a stable place regardless of everything kind of going on internally. We're trying to create that good environment so that it can still thrive, because there's not too much we can do internally to really start affecting those hormones and like everything else you're going through. However, through a lot of the products that we use, we can actually attack things on a more molecular level that actually go farther past our microbiome and actually into our scalp. And well, one, it destroys DHT, so directly attacks that hormone that causes hair loss. It's going to attack the receptors, and it's also going to attack the enzyme that creates DHT in general. So there's so many different things that our scalp treatments are going to allow for to prevent that hair loss and really encourage that hair growth. So it's pretty much just a reset for your scalp.
It's like I had no idea. And that was one of the questions I'd asked you, is like if somebody who just had a baby is having, hair loss. I feel like that was like one of the things most people complain about, because it's more like visually, that there is a way to kind of get it back. And
For
so
sure.
it's reassuring to hear that.
Absolutely, yes. And the other thing too is most people, you don't know you're losing hair, you're actually in that phase till you've actually been in it for about 40% of the time. So we see it a lot later than when it's actually going on, which is why it needs to be such a preventative thing, just like with our skin.
Friends, I have such an exciting product that I need to share with you. Are you someone who hates washing their face at night? Yep, that's me. For years, I never wanted to wash my face. And finally, I found a product that actually gets me excited to wash my face every night, and that is Clear Stem. I have tried so many products over the years to find the one that I truly love, the one that makes my skin glow, the one that makes me feel good when I wash it, and the one that gets me excited to want to wash my face. I discovered Clear Stem through another podcaster, and I was like, I got to give this a try. I instantly became obsessed. Some of my favorite products are the hydrating cleanser, which I use every night. It smells delicious. It makes my skin feel so great. Once a week, I use their Vita Scrub, which is an exfoliating cleanser, and that just has these little micro beads in it that just make your face feel so beautiful. I can just feel them get into my pores and really give my face this huge glow. And then one of my other favorite products is the Hydra Berry mask. And once you wash your face, you put a layer of this on your skin and you go to sleep and you wake up and your face feels like butter. I get so many compliments on my skin now. I don't get a lot of breakouts anymore. My face feels nice and hydrated and bright, and it's all because of the Clear Stem product. What I love about them is that their products are all clean. They're good for your skin, they're good for your body, and they have so many different product lines based on the type of skin you have. So go down in the show notes, click on the link. I'm giving 15% off to anybody who uses my code, and I promise you, once you try this, you are going to be obsessed just as much I am. So again, go down to the show notes, click on the link, receive 15% off, and give Clear Stem a try. I promise you will not regret it. What you had talked a little bit about the products you use. I know that Kimberly has done a lot of research to find the best of the best. Talk about the products that you guys use and what benefits they bring.
Absolutely. So we have been using Renee Furter. Kimberly brought in this product line or this brand back in 2012, I believe. And as we've done our own really in-depth research on every single ingredient that actually goes into this, on how to use it, why it works, what it does. And again, too, they have done their own extensive scientific research to back this up. This company's sister company is actually a pharmaceutical company. It was created by botanists and pharmacists. They use all natural, botanically based line in it, where a lot of medications and other things will help. This one, it's going to follow your natural hair growth, which for some people is a little bit frustrating because it can be a little bit longer of a process, but you're doing it in the most holistic and true way you can. And so you're not going to see bad side effects though, which is the great thing. So you're not going to see an intense shedding before the regrowth starts, or you're not going to see other things like that. And then it is going to, one, it's going to help reset that microbiome. So your hair is always in, your scalp is always in the best possible condition. And then it's going to start attacking things underneath that can't be addressed any other way. And we haven't found any other products that actually go into the scalp and start affecting those hormones that I was talking about, like DHT. I can compare it to, say, like Nutrafol. Nutrafol is a very well-known product, very common, a great product, and people are seeing results. What that's doing is it's creating the healthy microbiome. So essentially, those people just kind of needed a scalp treatment. They needed the detox, they needed the reset of their scalp. And so they're seeing good results because finally their scalp's happy and healthy. But now where Renee Furter, the product that, or the line that we use, is going to go even deeper, is it's going internal. It's really affecting things on a deeper level that we see results, like undoubtedly.
I love it. Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, my head feels so like hydrated and my hair is all soft and I keep saying, because most people think of like a way to relax is like, go get a massage, go get a full body massage. I've done that. I've done all the things, but there's something about like somebody touching your head and your scalp for 2 hours. It is so relaxing. Like when that little like thing goes, the whatever, I don't, you probably have a better name
Oh,
for
yes, the metal rod.
the rod that like sends the water. It like the way it like trickles on your body, it kept giving me like chills. It was like so relaxing that not only like I want to go back to make sure like I'm staying on top of my scalp health, but the relaxation portion is worth every second of it.
Yeah, good,
Yeah,
good. We like to think about too is when your body is hurting and it's in pain, something bad's probably happening. If your body's relaxed and happy and things feel good, it's probably because it's good for you and your body's thanking you for finally acknowledging it.
I also loved, and I mentioned this to you right before the treatment, you kind of did this grounding mantra of how to ground. I forget what you said, but it was one of those things of just being present and letting go of all the noise and the things that you have to do each day. So I actually checked that off my box as a meditation yesterday, because it was quiet. I was not, thinking about everything. I was present and just being in that moment. And so that was one thing that I really appreciated about that experience, is having that moment of let it go.
That makes me happy because we definitely want to try to provide that. While obviously you're in a very busy salon, you are in a completely separate room during the whole service where we have noise canceling curtains to help block extra noise from the doors. You have your own music going, temperature, all the things, because we really want to create that kind of sacred environment for you just to really be able to relax and be present in. Because again, too, for our purposes, if you're stressed and you're tight the whole time, we're not going to get the results that we want to see either.
Totally, absolutely. Um, Talking about services, so obviously you do this, and this is a newer-ish service. I think you said about a year and a half,
Yeah.
and it's become one of those services that's a new thing. Everyone, you probably see it on TikTok and Instagram, and everybody wants to know what it is. But once you do it, I promise you, you'll want to do it I'm like, can I come back tomorrow?
Yes,
So
no, it's
relaxed.
so, so good for you. Not only does it feel so good, but it's so beneficial. It should be as common as getting a facial. And if getting a facial isn't something you can do frequently, we would love to just teach and show you how to still do these things at home, giving you the right tools that you need to be able to take care of your scalp. Because once your hair starts falling out and losing it, sometimes you can't get it back. So we want to just be on top of it for everybody. Yeah.
I love it. What other services does the salon do? Obviously, and how many hairstylists do you, or what does your team look like?
Yes, yes. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we have 9 stylists here right now. We are a full spectrum salon. The only type of services we aren't doing is any type of chemical services. So as far as haircuts, hair color, extensions, we do a few waxing services. We actually do brow henna as well. Our head spa treatments, and then different scalp treatments. But yeah, we're a full spectrum salon here.
And you guys do a lot of continued education.
We do. So we consider coming here kind of like your masters of hair. Everybody who comes in here starts off through our associate program. And for a lot of people, or for a lot of stylists, is they're freshly coming out of school. And the focus of school is to have you pass your licensing test. Unfortunately, with that, there's no real practical
Mm.
on it. So the push for how well you can actually do hair is not the focus of school. So a lot of stylists come out still not or still needing help with their technical skills. So Kimberly has created an incredible educational system where we have a few educators, two right now currently, who take on these associates and work with them directly almost full time. And then as their skills build, we start allowing them to have like their full days on the floor until essentially they're a full-time stylist 5 days a week. She not only pushes for education here that you can receive from our stylist, but we also have people who come in. We hold 4-hour educational classes every single month for our stylists on top of a 1 hour like little lunch and learn for extra education that people might be needing. She actually also includes a certain amount of income and budget towards everybody's educational. So we had two stylists who went to Dallas for a huge beauty expo last year, and like part of that was covered for them. So like the encouragement of always being a student, always being to learn. We're in a constantly moving career here, and things are always changing. There's always new trends. There's always new things, and we don't ever want to be in a place where we're stuck and we're just doing the same things when everybody in the whole world is moving around us. So yeah, we just want to be able to provide the most that we can for people and really just be able to say yes. And not only that, I think as far as like even with our head spas, we really want to know that when our clients come in here, that they can trust us as the hair experts. That when they come here, they can be as confident that we're going to treat their hair with the most care. Say like when they go to the doctors, like you trust your doctor, no question, right? A lot of times, like they say, do this, do that. You're going to be like, okay, right. They know best. We want people to know that we've done the education, we've done the studying, like we know what we're talking about, and we're somebody that you can really trust and rely on.
And it's the cutest little salon. I love the little back area. It's like a sunroom where when you go and sit under the heat lamp when you're putting your color in, and it just feels so relaxing. I could just totally sit there with a cup of coffee and a book.
It is. It just feels like a home. It's so wonderful to feel like when I go to work, I get to go to a second home.
I love it. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you think is an important thing for women to know about hair health, skin health, career? I mean, I feel like you're so young, but you have been down such a beautiful journey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. As far as like, I'll just kind of recap. It is never too early to start taking care of your scalp. It needs to be acknowledged and as important as this being preventative with our skin on our face. And obviously, I know, and I think this is for like most of us, right? You can see the skin on your face. You can see when you you can see when you get a pimple, you can see when you get wrinkles, you can see when you get red. You can see all these things visually, which is why I think we're so attentive to attacking it and being on top of it. Our hair. When your hair is not looking good, when your hair gets frizzy, when you start noticing it's thinning here, you start worrying and you want to address the hair. The problem is, right, these are dead cells. There's only so much we can do here. But the scalp up here, we can't see it. It's not something that we notice. But unfortunately for us, it's even more important than these other things that we can visually see. So, like, we just can't encourage enough for people even just to do their own research on scalp. Like, we just really want to open that conversation, start getting this information out there, allow people to know and understand how important this is to take care of and be on top of. Because unfortunately, you only know what you know. And there's just not a lot of information out there yet about it. So I just encourage everyone to care for their scalp and to look out for it and do your own research. The other thing too, sorry, last thing I really want to mention is America or the US is experiencing more hair loss than other countries, specifically because of poor product usage. Just like with our food, we have lots of fillers and bad things that, I mean, we're seeing huge flux of allergies and different things come up because it's not sourced properly. It's not good quality. Same thing with our hair. Why go through spending all this money doing all this stuff to then put really poor products that are honestly more damaging than good, and then having to go back to kind of just reset, do the same thing over again? There's so much that you can do at home, and just by having good products. So really doing your research, not just trusting the influencer on TikTok because they said it was good and it worked for them. Like really knowing what you're doing and what you're putting on, it should be just as important as what you put on your face, what you ingest in your body, because too, those pores are open. It's going inside of you. It's not just sitting here on top of your head. So just to really look into the products you're using. And that even goes for like more holistic things like oils and whatnot, because I know that's a very big kind of trend right now too. Rosemary oils, castor oils. Know where your oil is sourced from. All oils have different temperatures, stability rates. There's so much that goes into it that we really just need to do our research, I think. Yeah.
That's such a great reminder. I mean, all of this, again, it's like one of those things that we don't normally think about, but it is so important. And it's like one of those body parts that we don't think about as much. I mean, yes, we get our hair done and we get it cut, but like, what are we doing to take care of it long term? And so I have learned so much in the last 24 hours, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to, get the experience to have you on the podcast to educate my listeners. So thank you again for being here, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Okay.